What secrets are you hiding from your parents? I'm not trying to hide it, but I'm not going to just tell them out of nowhere, but I used to skip, like, half my classes my senior year of high school and slept in a secret room in the school. Fun fact. That secret room had a lot of our rival school's old trophies in it. I spent a whole day one time going through them. That I have stage 4 terminal breast cancer. I just turned 40 and am the youngest of their 3 children. My parents are in their late 70s to early 80s with plenty of their own health problems. Worrying about me would serve no purpose. Lying to them sucks, though. I have a lot of tattoos, as in my spine, back, sternum, both hips, both sides, and my leg. She has no idea. And it's been 5 years. This is going to sound really stupid, but I have always been hiding the fact that I do want a family one day. It started out with being young and finding that kind of stuff awkward, so I never showed any interest in boys. But now I'm in my early 20s. I still keep quiet about it because I don't want my mother to think that I'm sad about missing out on relationships, because that would make her sad. I have always suffered from very severe social anxiety and depression for years, so I don't see myself ever having a relationship. I'd rather have her believe I'm immature than for her to think I feel lonely and sad. It's the weirdest secret ever, I know. Then again, expressing my desire to become a crazy cat lady instead of having a family isn't that much of a lie. I just leave out the part that I want to be a crazy cat lady with a family. I keep meeting guys at board game events to see if they click. They're nice dudes and fun to hang out with, but I don't see relationship potential happening for several months, if at all. I wish I could tell my folks this, but every time I so much as hint at meeting a guy, my mom pounces on me with, "Is he cute? Does he like you? Do you like him? Did you kiss?" This is the same person who, when I was dating a guy a few years ago, asked if I was in love after the second date. Let's just totally forego having compatibility and common interests. Being just friends is always grounds for, but there could be romance. She's so quick to pounce on the, "But do you like him?" train. And if I did end up dating these guys, the next question would be, "So, when are you getting married?" I was locked out of my house one day after school. I was about 14. I went to the side garage door and kicked the door in, breaking the frame. I was dumb and didn't expect anything to break and didn't know how to fix it, so I just left it. My dad found it and assumed someone broke in and called the cops. A squad car came by and the officer looked around. He shined his flashlight at an angle on the door and found a shoe print. My shoe print. I was freaking the fuck out, sweating balls. But I kept my mouth shut because I was more afraid of my dad getting pissed than the cop. Since nothing was found to be stolen, nothing ever happened. But I've never told my dad I was the break-in. At 17, me and my buddies got drunk and on the drive home, I wasn't driving, but driver was drunk, hit my mom's car in the driveway. I woke up to really angry screams in the AM and didn't tell her I knew who did it. She assumed it was a hit and run. That I'm an atheist. My parents' grandmother and her new husband are super religious. So I feel that if one day just come out and say that I don't believe in God, I would get kicked out for not sharing the same beliefs as they do. How many different drugs I've abused and how much debt I racked up because of it. A long time has passed since those days, but I'm still stuck with my massive debt. Worst part is that I come from a very strict family with a very low acceptance for addictions. The feelings of guilt can be overwhelming at times, but I power on. Thankfully, I have a wonderful wife that makes this strange ride called life all worth it. Now, just have to figure out a way to clear my bank debt without having to seriously consider going bankrupt and forfeiting most of my bills. But I'm optimistic. I've dodged bigger bullets in the past, and I'm sure this one will blow over just like the rest has done, all in due time. I hooked up with a girl in their bed when I was 16, and I was pissed off at them. My sweaty, hairy ass was sitting on the same pillow my stepmom put her head down on. The dent in the drywall behind the headboard is also from me, and not them. When my dad found it, he thought it was when they were having sex, but it was actually me. My dad is and was cheating on my mom for 2+ years. I've tried getting some sort of photo evidence to show my mom, but I was never able to go through with it. I was 15 when I found out. I'm 18 now, and I still hate myself for not going through with it. I'm not even sure if it's relevant anymore because I haven't noticed him texting them. Yes, there were multiple women in a while. When I was 17, I ran from the cops, hid in my dad's shed for like 3 hours. Almost got arrested after leaving said shed and leaving the yard. When I had walked down the street to my car, and there was a cop down the street looking for me. Ran again, hid in someone's backyard for like 30 minutes. Kept calling random friends to see if they'd come by and pick me up. Finally, someone had came by through an alleyway. I jumped in their car and hid in the next town over. Came back, got my car. Good times. When I was around 14, I overheard my parents arguing. My mom was yelling at my dad about the hub searches on the computer. It was really me that was going on the computer in their room and watching the hub. He kept denying it and she kept calling him a liar. He slept in the guest bedroom for a month after that fight. I went camping with my mom and a bunch of her friends. Ended up sleeping with my mom's best friend. We meet up every once and a while to do it more, and we still both keep it a secret from her. I hid the fact that I slept with my cousin for marriage. Well, guess I'm still hiding it. I know they said that two can keep a secret if one is dead. But guess who passes away in a car crash and who's on Reddit? I rest my case. That I beat up a kid when my mother was sick cause she wouldn't stop saying she wished my mom died and to stop being bitch and just fight her. My mother had pancreatic cancer and could barely walk by herself and spent most of her days praying and looking for treatments. I originally ignored her and continued with my classes, but she would not stop following me and just being a nuisance. Though I snapped after she made a particular comment about hoping how my mother should just end it all herself. We were on the bus, and she followed me off, still yelling insults and comments about my mom. I walked to a gas station, and once we were just out of view of the front, I turned and decked her in the face with my elbow. So begins the skirmish between two 13-year-olds with yelling, crying, and lots of hair pulling. I, in the end, yanked her by her sweater into the wall, and only started to freak out once I realized that she could have hit her head and it could cause serious injuries. I quickly gathered the scattered things from my bag from when my bag had fallen off of my shoulder during the fight and ran to a nearby bus stop, leaving her crying and saying that I was a slut. When I had gotten home, I went through my backyard and ran upstairs to avoid my mom, who would definitely hear me if I went through the front. The girl never reported it, and everyone just assumed she got mugged on her way home from her injuries. Even if one of us reported it, our school couldn't have done anything since it wasn't on the property. I got out of the fight in okay condition, had bruises and some small cuts on my arm from her nails, though not as bad as her. She apparently fractured her nose when she hit the wall and had to get correctional surgery. Was proud that I defended my mother, but know she will beat me if she knew that I beat up someone. I got my high school sweetheart pregnant 6 months after we broke up. She agreed to raise it by herself and not tell anybody I was the father. She had a miscarriage. Her family hates my guts. My family has no clue this ever happened. When I was younger, I would steal coins from my parents, and when I had enough, I would bring them to my dad and had them changed to paper bills. And he would be so proud of me for saving coins that he would buy me ice cream or sweet bread. I pushed my cousin in front of a car, and he broke his nose. At the age of 12, and he was 9. Still, everyone thinks it's driver's fault for driving recklessly and hitting their kid. Several months ago, I went for a much-needed massage. I saw an ad on Gumtree which seemed like a better deal than my local sports clinic. Details on the ad suggested it was just right to ease all my ills away, but in hindsight, they were clearly capipista. It turns out she was an escort. The massage was terrible, and after stopping her, I was in no mood to ask or try any other offered service. We chatted for quite a while. I offered to massage her to show her some basic technique. We also chatted about exercise and her wanting to do more, but hating being in classes or a gym, where people always asked about your life and not knowing what to say. Being a foreign lass, her English wasn't good anyway. I showed her some pilates and body weight movements. As a joke, I offered my services for a fee to improve her massage skills and exercise routine, and then left. A fortnight later, I had a call from her asking if I was serious about the training. I thought I'd try it for the Krayak. Plus, I was making a little cash. On arriving, it turned out she had also roped in some of her flatmates. So since then, on a fairly regular basis, I have been training escorts on improving their massage techniques, physical health, self-defense, UK business, and tax advice. It's all fairly basic stuff. I'm no massage guru or gym rat myself, although my work and general interests have given me decent body know-how. Fairly quickly into it, they invited more of their friends, and the exercise class typically contains 7 to 8 girls, although 12 to 13 is not that unheard of, so I hire out a local community church hall that is crazy cheap. So all pretty innocent, but family and friends have no idea. Just an exercise class or giving someone a massage. But all the students are escorts and working girls who offer a range of basic to seriously fucked up services. There has been no exchange of services instead of cash, and the extra monies is turning out to be quite a lot and very handy.